What about you? Did you see anything interesting?
I just actually came in. So my first event always IoT Stars, because
Okay.
I
Good
get
start. Yeah.
I get my summary of where to go
Yeah.
and like structure the program for myself. So I'm gonna float around tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, mostly on the projects that we are doing, and doing the same rounds, talking to partners, DT.
Yeah. Well, that's actually good that you mentioned that, because we know each other, but it makes sense to tell a bit about yourself and what you do.
That's true. So we're Staex, and we are coming from Deutsche Telekom. We used to be their blockchain team, actually, blockchain department. And during our work, I would say, very boldly, we actually found the holy grail of how to approach IoT, because with Web3 tools, you can actually build secure, cost-efficient, and solutions at scale. So I was just super fond of this, because I've seen how I would say it's pretty unique for Web2, because it was always this dilemma between, I put more security, but then it's less usability, then I cannot really scale the things, as I want. And then they're not maybe so cheap as I want. And so that's why the specifics of what is now possible with Web3 was always super interesting for me. And so that's what we built. We built this access layer for IoT builders, how they can easily use blockchain features. Now from this youth dream of mine that everything goes blockchain, I think that's been completely demolished, right? And so
Which is a pity. Yeah.
Exactly.
And not your fault, obviously, but
just like things take time, I guess.
Yeah.
And now over this last 5 to 6 years, I think we got extremely successful in really understanding where it really can help. And just seeing in the things that we're building now, the eyes of builders that are like this is possible now out of the box, and I can turn on this like data economy. I can trade my CO2 certificates. I can do all that. With such a short integration time. So this is really beautiful. Just like we're still in the beginning, and I guess for us it became more and more the more we see what's happening in this Web3 IoT market, specifically also driven by the developments in the US. We even want to, go to the extent and say, you're going to be left behind if you actually don't look into this tooling today, because you can actually, optimize a lot of things with this Web3 tools. You can automate certain use cases. So yeah, that's what we're doing.
But the blockchain part is still there, right, in your stack?
Exactly. So initially it was said that blockchain is super strong in payment use cases. And then I think that we figure out more and more that it's extremely interesting for verified data. So right now we run a fleet of buses with our solution for bus operator in North Rhine-Westphalia. And we help them to actually anchor or collect the trusted data with regard to CO2 data. So instead of building a very cumbersome process of how they get this data trusted into their backend, they can actually directly sign it on the bus and put it on chain. And then we went even further to say, well, now we have this trusted data. And then somebody from a municipality can look through this and make sure that you are in this threshold, right?
Okay.
And then we were like, oh, but we have smart contracts. So now even people don't have to look into this, because you can actually even automate this logic, which is trusted. Nobody can bribe it. And you just send alarms when something happens. And so this is how we started. It's a nice set of use cases, not too many. However, they're very viable and very interesting and scalable from that regard.
Maybe it's because I know my head is a mess and I always see things coming together. But I hear a lot lately about digital identities.
Yes.
And do you see a link between what you're doing today with digital identities? It's becoming mandatory, right, in Europe?
Exactly. They're building I think it's called European Blockchain EPSI framework for European states. So my take on it, when we started to work with digital identity,
Yeah.
I've just seen for myself, it's a very not an easy topic. I think, right? You can roger that it's
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So for a startup, I was pretty fast in realizing that's not something that you take out in a startup. So that's why my focus was specifically on machine identity. I think it should interact.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't think a lot of things are happening because a lot of this machine identity is coming from Web3 space, and everybody builds their own one. It was, again, the zoo of identities. But we are at this intersection. I think we didn't do enough in this direction, honestly, because essentially we're really focused on telemetry data and helping IoT builders at the moment, and we are just providing our machine identity that Staex provides, which is a service identity by the end of the day. And I would love to get into this. Like, we've been in conversation with EPSI for quite some time. I would love to kind of merge these things together, because essentially, if you talk about IoT identity, you have to necessarily, right? You own a car and then you transfer the ownership to somebody else.
Yeah, exactly. I see some overlap.
Yeah.
Not overlap, but some hooks between Staex and the digital identities. Yeah. You're going to be disappointed tomorrow if you will go to Vera, by the way.
Tell me.
Because, a couple of years ago, you were disappointed that blockchain disappeared everywhere.
Yes.
And
what else disappears now?
IoT. Oh, so today I figured out IoT disappeared.
But this is so, wait, you said it, like, I learned it from you. Yeah. It means success. Like, it's everywhere. It's,
Yeah, it's so I was just having a chat with Wieneke from the Things Industries about that, because to me it feels like IoT, like there's a multiverse in IoT.
Okay.
You know the multiverse, right?
Yes.
You watch you read comics and you watch Marvel.
I love it.
So there's one universum where it's scaled, like LoRaWAN.
Yes.
With 3 million devices.
Yes.
In agriculture and smart city, and it's like in those very specific regions, and we cannot say industries, because the Things Industries is doing a lot of smart city and smart agriculture use cases. There are still lots of companies and organizations in agriculture who are not even aware about IoT yet.
Wow.
So what I'm trying to say is that there are some companies and some regions and some industries within. There are a few companies, organizations who scaled with IoT, but there are more companies who don't know yet about IoT. That's why I think we have parallel worlds.
You're right, and also, like, look at us, right? Yeah. Everything our customers care about is new revenue streams.
Yeah.
That's our Web3 angle, because we say now you can monetize the data, you can use it for your contracts, etc. I don't know, one part of me says, why would should we bother the market with this? Like, we now also have our own kind of partner for devices, right? So it's all seamless for the builder. And the other part, of course, tells me they should have the knowledge about this. I guess, we discussed it also last year, that we have to integrate together, and like there's just like one solution end to end for the customer. That's what they That's what I feel they all wanted in some ways.
No, but I think that it's not that they don't talk about it anymore because it's becoming normal. It's just bad marketing.
Yes.
Because you and I, we believe in blockchain, for example.
That's true.
But it's not normalized yet. So
that's
they
true.
stopped talking about it too early.
That's
and
true.
The same goes for IoT. The layman now thinks like, hey, blockchain, it was bullshit.
Yes.
It was just a hype and no one needs it. Well, actually, everyone needs it.
And so many things are being
built.
Right
so
now.
I think
you know what they've done in Web3 specifically, because they so there is this new concept of DePIN. Mm-hmm. It's called decentralized physical infrastructure networks.
Yeah.
And it was specifically kind of I think the granddads of this platform were Helium.
Yeah.
So it's right.
Helium, the LoRaWAN. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's like a different version, right? Because in Web2 you would have a different business model behind it. This one is community driven.
Okay.
So there are now kind of a lot of networks being built actually based on in some sort of IoT, right? So I think it's still essential, and a lot of people are looking into this. And just look, we built this bus project for for our customer in North Rhine-Westphalia, right? And I was impressed because we help them to anchor data on blockchain.
Yeah.
And, you know, I would always say it produces so much new data on the internet. And we actually measured it for one data type. Every 5-second request, 10 buses generate 8,000 transactions. It's enormous amount. Like no users would ever generate this amount.
No,
of
exactly.
transactions.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I kind of feel IoT became a thing behind it. Like for us, it's a bus or a charging station or a drone.
Exactly.
And like the boxes inside it is just like the use case itself, and essentially it's smart city somehow.
Yeah, true. It's like hidden under the hood.
Exactly.
Exactly. We have to
sure
close the session because Lawrence just gave me a heads up that they want to start with a stage program.
I would like to have a selfie with you because I see you once in 3 years. So I would tell the team that we actually met, and you can also join. Yeah, exactly.